Well, in today's webisode, as you can see, we've got a wonderful nested tags die with a couple of little books of snowy days and gnomes. And just to get you started, here is what you can do with one of the gnomes in our 3D frame card. How fun is that? Please come play with us. So before we get started, I just want to show you the nested tags. There are 9 dies, and you can do a hole in them or not as you choose. And they are large enough to make a card out of, and then also scaling down. Now, both the snowy days and the festive gnomes are big. There are 144 sheets, and there are 25 designs, so you're going to get 6 of each one. And you can see as we get into them, and they make a really nice combination. So let's go to our first card. Thank you. We got a little bit closer. So this is obviously using the nesting die, the largest one, to die cut out of the iridescent papers. Now these papers, in fact, as I wiggle this, you will see they kind of change color, which is what you would expect from the term iridescent. And they come in a package with multiple colors. And I'll just show you what that package looks like. And we bring these in from Holland, so they're just really wonderful. So you're going to place, well, you're first going to cut the iridescent paper down. The measurements, as always, are down below. You can see the project. Just click on it and you'll see all of the step-by-step instructions. So you're going to take that paper, then you're going to fold it in half and position the die just over that fold so it won't cut the fold. The other thing this die does, and I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it also stitches right along the outside edge, so that's really nice. Now, as you can see, this is using the snowy days. I'm sure that's what you would have realized, that these aren't the gnomes. And this is the image, and as I said, you get 6 of each one. So what Heidi did is she first took this sheet and she cut out around the globe, but also let some of the snowflakes, like that one and the one down below showing. Then she die cut different layers. So she wanted to create that dimension, and you can see it here where they are put together with foam tape. So first the part with the background, then she did with just the globe, then she just did the circle, and then she added the penguins' hats and the scarves and did the snowflakes on top. So that worked very nicely, and it fits perfectly on the top of this. Now, for a little bit of shine, she added the silver jewel dazzles just on top of the snowflakes, so just in the center, and that's the smallest design on that sheet. Now, this, oh, what fun! That comes from our Christmas greetings. Now this has the script greetings, but it also has the tiny words and phrases in Christmas in multiple designs, and you can see it here in the silver. Oh, what fun, just fits nicely along there. Now on the inside, Heidi did something else that was a little unusual, is that this has a liner. And what she chose is our swirl vellum. And there isn't much vellum out there that is printed white on top of the vellum, but we do have dots and hearts, and we have the swirls, both in 8.5 by 11 and in 12 by 12. So she did the same thing, cut a strip of it. In fact, here's what it looks like unfinished or uncut. And you can see all those swirls. So she cut a strip and folded it and then positioned the die over the fold, same thing that you did on the front. And then when she glued it in, she just glued in the back side of it so that this top can be the kind of the liner that opens up. Now on the inside, you can see that this is another of the images out of the snowy days, and she simply cut that to fit. Actually, she didn't. She used one of the smaller nested to cut that out, to die cut it, and just simply placed it on the inside. Now, more of the silver jewel dazzles. You can see them sparkling. The holly jolly and the red holly and snowflakes, that is also from that same dazzle collection. So that finishes our first card in very shiny and glittery look. Now we're going to go to the second card, And this is something that Heidi likes to do, and I think it's really wonderful. This card has an acetate front, and as you can see, it bows over the card. And I will tell you that when Heidi sent this to me, she did put in a piece of bubble wrap and just tucked it under here, just so that that wouldn't get smashed. So if you want to do that, that's certainly an option. And she did use our red glitter cards. Now these come, they come flat, they are scored. There are 10 cards and 10 envelopes. The cards end up being 5 by 6.5, our standard card size. And they do have the glitter on the outside. So you see it on the front here and you see it on the back right there. This is a label that we put to identify the cards, and that's what was showing there. So then what she has taken is, this is also out of the Snowy Days. So this is the image, as you can see, certainly gets the designation as Snowy Days, as you can see. And she did leave it its exact size, so that's going to work nicely. Now the next thing she did was to cut the acetate. And the acetate that she uses is something that we get from Hunkydory every Christmas because it's so unique, so wonderful. It is snowfall acetate. We have them in packages of 5 and packages of 16 sheets, so you can get whichever you want. So what Heidi has done is to cut that piece of acetate, and it's going to be as tall as this piece, which is 4 7/8 inches, but it's going to be wider. So while this measures 5 3/4, it's going to be about an inch longer, and then you can score along the 1/2 inch mark on each side and then simply attach it to the back. You will want to use extra sticky tape because that's what's going to hold acetate in place, and that will allow it to buckle over. In fact, you may even want it a little bit wider. So I think I'd go, instead of 5 3/4, maybe just do 6.5. That way you can do that 1/2 inch on each side and let it bow in the center. Then, let me bring this back so you can see. She did put a little bow, has zodded, and she used that out of our red ribbon set, as you know, so useful. And then she did put the same dazzles are used there to do the script. So the Merry Christmas in green, and also these ornaments that are hanging down and some little swirls, all of those are part of the package. Now for the inside of her card, she's done something different, so you get a different look. So obviously this is the image. It is taller than the card, so you're going to trim that. But first you'll want to take a bit of the blue glitter. Now this is sold in a package of sheets, and you can see just how beautiful it is and what a perfectly wintry look it has. So with that blue, you can just cut a piece that's going to fit the rest of the inside of the card and glue that down, glue the that image. Then you're going to want to put another piece of acetate. So I'll just kind of let the camera show you that acetate right there. Now the way to attach that is simply to put some dabs of glue behind the snowflakes, and that will hold it in place. It doesn't have to be secure all over, just those bits will take care of it. Now I'm hoping that you can see Jingle All the Way is along that little bridge, and that's again the same dazzles. Also is the magic and more of the ornaments. Then she chose the silver border dazzles to go right along that edge, just between the glitter and the paper. So just turns out very nicely, don't you think? And oh, I guess in the back there, she did do a white bow right under that bridge, of course, from the white ribbon set, wouldn't you know? Now we'll go into our next card, and here we are. And this is also out of the Snowy Day. We'll get to the gnomes in just a moment. And this is our regular 5 by 6.5 inch card. As you can see on the front, the Santa has been cut. Well, in fact, let me show you the whole image. Here he is. And snow is falling over Santa. And this is a pyramid type or pyramage type where you have the same image. Now, because you get 6 of them, that's easy to do, and simply die cut them 1, 2, 3 times out of 3 different sizes of that nesting tags die, and you just layer them with foam tape so you can see that they don't really pooch up very much, just a little bit to give some dimension. I remember when I first saw this technique, and that's been years ago, I was so impressed. I thought it was just really, really clever that you get that dimension just by die cutting and having the nesting dies. These days, of course, we've got lots of those. Now, this has been placed using our Christmas Aglow 12 by 12 papers. And you probably know that this is this season's version of Christmas, and you've got the red gingham, and on the inside of this there is also another part of that same paper that has the flowers down below, and so she has used both of them. Now, for the front of the card, in addition to the die cut images of this, she did die cut one out of solid green. The solid green came out of the same Christmas Aglow cardstock, so that matches perfectly, and it's going to work nicely. Now, with her card, can you see there's just a different color on the edges? Look at that. Well, she used one of our favorites, and that is the metallic gold pigment ink pad. And simply, you can either do it with a blending brush, or you can just take it and go right along the edge of the card. You might want to bring it in a little bit, and it just gives a nice border very easily and very professionally, I might add. So that's taking care of our card itself, the front of it. Now these pieces, well, there is a sheet in the set that has greetings, and I'm afraid I have misplaced it. So you'll just have to take my word for it, if you will, that has these cutouts, and you can simply glue them straight down, and that's what Heidi has done. Notice that she put this tag at an angle. So she's got a couple of angles going on, and that plays nicely against that gingham background. That bow is out of our burgundy collection of ribbons, and it does a really nice job. It's interesting that she chose the burgundy instead of the red, but I think it does a really nice job. Now the final accent there at the bottom, can you see those 3 sparkles? That is from the Hunkydory Christmas Sparkles collection. So you get gold, silver, red, green, blue, and purple. So certainly everything you're going to need for Christmas. And just a touch of those does such a nice job. Now on the inside, as I said, she uses another area of that same paper. She did ink that just a bit around the edge, not quite as heavily as she did on the front, but that's your option. You can see the yellow large tag was done out of the solid cardstock, and then this little guy is right here. He too was die cut with that nesting tag, and I think you'll find that that tag does a lot of, you'll have a lot of good uses for it. Now the Merry Christmas is out of the Christmas Aglow. There are 72 cutouts in there, and this Merry Christmas is one of them. Again, the burgundy ribbon and more of those Christmas sparkles are right there, just adding a bit of shine for us. And that finishes our 3rd card. Now our 4th one, okay, we are finally getting into our festive gnomes, and I don't know about you, but it seems to me that gnomes just don't go away. We just keep bringing them out, and people love them, and that's just wonderful. Now this little guy is very fun, and there's something different with him. And let me show you, is that this is being done out of our 3D frame. Now these are die cut cards with matching envelopes. All the instructions are included, but just to give you a kind of a view of what happens. So what you get is the card, and because it is a frame, there is a spine on this card. And then this area, you're simply going to fold. It has score lines, so this is just going to go away from you on all of them. And then the next one is going to go the opposite way, and this is going to make the frame. And what's nice is that just folding this, and then you're going to fold the next score line is going to go in. So it's going to make a little place to hold your focal. Okay. Now, if I were doing this not on camera, I would be using my bone folder and I would be going again over those score lines, but just for purposes of demonstration, we'll leave it like this. So this is what it looks like. Now, if you are saying that doesn't look like it's complete, you are exactly right. There is a piece of paper in here that is cut to size that will fit right into it. And what Heidi has done is this paper she has also covered with this little gnome, and you can see where she used this area. Now again, you get 6 of them, so she did take one of them and she saved it for the outside of her little frame. So this guy's going to be covered onto this card. Then you can cut out other pieces and that will work nicely. In fact, let me bring the card in just to show you that. So there he is. And then she cut out the little sled and then cut him out separately. The little reindeer, little puppy down there. And she does have some of the gold jewel dazzles. Here's what they look like on the sheet. And she has placed them just on the inside, lit the candle that's in the lantern and also the stars that are there. Now on the outside of the frame, as you can see, that gives you some space for decorating. Now it's not very thick, but it does give you some space. So Heidi took our square and scallop dazzles, excuse me, cutting dies. Okay, got it, square and scallop cutting dies. And she used the gold glitter, or blue glitter. Now we used this earlier and it worked beautifully. And look what she's done here. So she's done the scallop and has die cut that blue glitter and just glued it to the outside of the frame. It does such a nice job and matches all the blues with that little gnome. But the other thing she's done is to take our straight line dazzles. Now, our straight line dazzles are right here, and the package has, let me see, well, it's got all of these colors. You can see gold, silver, green, red, blue, copper, teal, 340 pieces, and she's placed one of them right around that edge. Again, she's got the gold jewel dazzles on top. This reindeer, as I said, that little guy came from the sheet, and there we go. He's right here. And so she cut him out and put him on the front. And the Snow Much Fun, well, that's right here. That's on the cutout sheet that's in the package. Again, you're going to get 6 of them. And then she used out of our gold and silver ribbons to put the gold ribbon right up there. And this is also has Let It Snow. That's out of that sheet that comes in the little book of festive gnomes. Okay, let's look on the inside. Now on the inside, if you'll remember, there's going to be this ugliness, okay? But that gets fixed because you get another sheet to cover that. And what Heidi did is she covered it with the blue glitter. And doesn't that look really nice? You can see the border dazzles right along here. This is out of the gold border dazzles and the gold jewel dazzles right in the center. Now on this side, once again, she has used the blue glitter. She covered the inside. And then this piece comes from the book. Looks like this. It's a little bit wider than what you need, but you can see she just trimmed the edges. The height is the same as what she needs for the inside of that card. To My Gnome This Christmas, that is out of the cutouts, the ribbon, more dazzles, and more of the gold border dazzles right there. So that finishes your card. Now, because there is an envelope, you can mail it just like this. It really is going to hold it. I'm pressing down on this, and just that double fold really holds it nicely. So it works very, very well. So I think you can see there is so much that you can do with the ornate nesting tags, our Snowy Days little book of, and our little book of Festive Gnomes. They make a really nice combination, but I bet you can find even more ways to use them. I want to thank Heidi for sharing us her creations. She's done a wonderful job, and for our friends at Hunkydory who create these products. If you are watching this at paperwishes.com, down below you'll see all 4 of the projects. You can click on any of them or all of them, and you will see the instructions. While you're here at Paper Wishes, look on the right side of your screen. We have taken these items and put them together in a money saver for you, because after all, you deserve a little extra at this season especially. If you're watching this on YouTube, we hope that you will like us. We definitely hope that you'll subscribe. And if you can, come on over to paperwishes.com and take advantage of that money saver. Take a look at the instructions if you need them. And we do have all the products here. So thank you for joining us. And as always, thank you for being the very best part of Paper Wishes. Bye-bye.